All right, we're back again for
What?
more live. Uchoose live. I guess I
We
should say.
keep doing these.
So these are the Uchoose live podcast. Is simply for those of you that are new. Thank you for listening. But we go through these old books, the Choose Your Own Adventure books from the 80s and some adjacent books. And when we get to Decision Point, if you're listening live, you can chime in and direct how the story goes, because we don't want the same thing every single day. I mean, it's a Monday.
It's a Monday, and this just shows you how nerdy we are. I just realized recently through my girlfriend and her son that it's football season, and
There you go.
and it's literally the first Monday night of football, and you and I are like, let's do our podcast.
Let's do a podcast. You can't get any nerdier than that. Nerdy dads are like, let's relive our childhood from 35 years ago. That's what we're gonna do.
But yeah, like Lee said, this is and honestly, give you guys a quick little you choose history now that we're old enough to say that. We started this show initially. It was an idea that we were going to do at a local comic book. I can't say convention anymore, can I?
Yeah.
Can't say that word. You get sued.
Pop culture event.
Yeah. What soccer? Jesse coming in hot with the football heat. We were going to do this for a local comic book convention. Goes by the name now of Grand Comic Fest, and the pandemic decided to come in and do a Macho Man Randy Savage on us.
Exactly.
Oh yeah!
And just kick the Slim Jims of hope out of our hands. Just bam!
Yes.
Take a snap out of this. And so you and we decided, hey, instead of doing this at a live convention, which we still may do one day, stay tuned. Maybe a local like mini con. We talked about that again.
Yeah.
And but we thought, what better way to do this than to put it out online and let people live with us sit down and relive their 80s fantasy adventures and choose their own adventures.
Exactly.
So what other Monday night adventure can you sit down and experience the multitude of choice
where you get to be involved? Those coaches aren't going to listen to you on the sidelines. You can lazy boy it all you want.
Snap into a sentence. It's true.
Yes.
It's funny because it's true.
It's all right.
But yeah, we are here and we're going to do this live. We do post these later after the fact, and they're probably a little less fun. I can imagine people screaming at their radios or whatever the heck you're listening to us on as we pick choices that you're like, surely this will kill you. And the answer is yes, it will. And don't call me Shirley.
Yeah, we know Jesse does. Jesse always screams, go to the saloon.
Jesse's all about the saloon. Al, who's not in the chat tonight, is all about just finding any electrical device and having us step in water and then bite the cord.
He's not beholden just to electricity, fire, cliffs, whatever.
Oh yeah, doesn't matter.
He doesn't put the plastic safety things into the outlets at his house.
No,
they're not.
No.
His house is not kid friendly, probably.
No, he actually makes it a point to make it not kid friendly. He's got bear traps and barbed wire and exposed wiring.
Wire.
It's good. It's all good stuff. But yes, again, people who have tuned in to us after the fact or who have commented on our show later or even listened to us every other Monday, and we're kind of pulling a fast one on you because technically last Monday, Labor Day here in the United States, would have been 2 weeks. We're kind of playing with the formula now because I think these Mondays might work better. I think, especially for me. I don't know how they work out for you, Lee.
Yeah. No, it works. This is much better.
Good. I think this will work. So yeah, with that being said, we'll just dive right in. And like we said, be sure to hop in, tell your friends that they too can choose their own adventures. Quit being boring.
Yeah.
You
make it go back. Be a 9-year-old again.
I still thought that said Mystery of Econo Lodge.
Yeah, the Econo. There you go. They'll steal it. The Mystery of the Econo Lodge.
The choose your own hotel adventure.
Yeah, exactly. So today we're doing The Mystery of Echo Lodge by Louise Monroe Foley. This is the second time through. So real quick, since this is the second time through, when we get to the first decision that we had last time, we're going to pivot and go the other direction because nobody wants the same thing twice. Not even Echo Lodge.
The whole point for these books is to not repeat the mistakes you did in the past.
Exactly. Not like real life.
I tell
All
you
right.
what.
This one is number 42 in the series from 1985. Marty McFly. Get back to 1985.
Back to the Future. Did you want me to start this one off, Lee?
Yep. Go ahead and start off.
All right, here we go, everybody. A light snow is falling the December morning. You arrive at the Lake Tahoe bus station. As you leave the bus, you stare at the majestic peaks of the Sierra Nevada range. This is going to be the best winter vacation you've ever had. We're not setting our hopes too high there.
No, not at all.
Aunt Sadie, who's the best Aunt Sadie you've ever had.
The only Aunt Sadie.
Yeah, exactly. Said there'd be lots of time off from your duties at her lodge to go snowmobiling and to learn how to ski. Man, listen, that's the first thing I'd be doing, getting to that lodge.
Grab your skis and go. Break a leg,
Right?
literally.
Right. You enter the depot and look around. Aunt Sadie's bellman, Russell Lyons, that's a name right there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's British or something.
That's either like a superhero or a guy that owns like a rental furniture store.
Furniture store.
Get down to Russell Lyons Furniture.
Only $9.99
rental.
0% interest for 14 months.
After 15 months, 90% interest.
90% interest.
Is supposed to pick you up. A small man is seated on a bench reading a newspaper. He's wearing a heavy plaid jacket and a cap with ear flaps, and his navy trousers have gold stripes down the legs. Excuse me, you say. Are you Russell from Echo Lodge? Slowly, the newspaper is lowered. The man stares back at you through wire-framed glasses. He looks about 80 years old, and I know that because I'm 9 years old and have a frame of reference.
Yeah, we know how old people look.
Right.
Of course, we think he's 80. He's probably actually 43.
Exactly. He's 36.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Jesse's already remembering this one. We have to go through it twice, Jesse. That's the rules.
Yeah, we can't break the rules, Jesse.
So Sadie found me another city kid to train, Russell says. Cheap help. Whoa.
Wow.
Russell,
calm down.
That's what happens when you go broke. Not like the old days when we hired expensive help.
Exactly.
Come on.
He didn't take his Metamucil.
No, he's grouchy. He's a little backed up. You follow Russell outside and climb into an aging purple van, because vans age, with Sadie's Echo Lodge printed in gold on the side. Who's going broke, you ask as he shifts it into gear. Sadie's going broke, Russell says. More cancellations than reservations these days. I know, it's the Paiute jinx. We're going with Paiute, I suppose.
Paiute, yeah.
Paiute. He suddenly steers off the main highway onto a narrow mountain road. There's a great illustration there.
Yes.
Quite snow-covered.
Very snow-covered.
That's either snow or mashed potatoes. We don't know, to be sure.
Either one. Either way, you can grab a spoon and go.
Either way, get to eating. What's the Paiute jinx, you wonder? You hesitate to ask Russell. He seems so crabby. Maybe Aunt Sadie will explain. You ride in silence, staring at the rugged mountains and deep canyons. Here it is, Russell says, pulling up in front of a steep stone flight of stairs. The main lodge, almost hidden by towering pine trees, is a 2-story structure of stone and redwood. A stone chimney climbs one wall, and around the main building are 4 small chalets. Their steep, sloping roofs support a heavy snowpack or mashed potatoes.
Either one.
And dagger-sharp icicles hang from the eaves. Go on up, Russell tells you. I'll park the van. You drag your bag up the steep stairway and enter the lobby. Aunt Sadie, you call, peering around. Your aunt comes running in. Just call me Sadie, she says, giving you a hug and displacing your sense of order and hierarchy in the world. You just got here in time. My switchboard operator quit this morning. Surely a good sign.
I like how immediately they're like, "Hey, we're going to put you to work." See, that is very 80s.
Free labor, man. Even in the 80s, they were still kind of wrapping their heads around like not making kids climb up chimneys. They're like, wait a minute. I can't put a kid in that?
What? No way. That's
Yeah.
impossible.
It doesn't work. As Sadie hustles you into her private suite of rooms, you notice a small blonde woman in a red dress staring at you. Furthermore, Sadie whispers, slamming the door, last night we had a power failure, and Countess Maria's diamond watch was stolen.
Mm.
Heidi and I are in desperate need of help. Who's Heidi, you ask Sadie. I am, growls a voice behind you. Who are you? Turn to page 9. You whirl around to confront the blonde lady from the lobby. Only she's now dressed in a purple flowered muumuu and is wearing a black wig. You have no idea how she got into the room. This is my niece's child, Sadie explains, here to help us out through the winter vacation. Says Heidi skeptically. Can you follow orders? That depends on who gives them, you reply.
Ooh, burn.
Ooh. When you work with me, I give him, Heidi snaps. Now go kill Russell. I'm kidding. As a sign of your loyalty.
Yes. Kill the old
I
man.
I am the Echo Lodge house detective, retired from a long and distinguished career with Interpol, the International Criminal Police Commission. Her speech is interrupted by a wailing siren. Fire, Heidi shouts. Fire in the lodge. You evacuate the second floor. I'll get the dining room. Heidi pushes you toward the lobby and you race up the main stairs. You bang on the doors, shouting, but most of the rooms seem to be empty. When you reach room 223, you hear a radio playing loudly and the sound of water running. You bang on the door. No one answers. You try the knob. The door is locked. Should you go to the desk for a key or force the door open? The siren is still screeching. If you go to the desk for a key, turn to page 12. If you force the door, turn to page 17. I believe last time, Lee, didn't we go get a key?
Yeah, we went to page 12 last time. So this
Yeah.
time we're going to force that door open with all
Force
of our
the door. Force the
9-year-old
door.
strength that we have.
9-year-old strength.
9-year-old strength.
All right, sir. This is up. You're up.
You put your hand on the doorknob, brace your body, and slam into the panel. As you make contact, the door to 223 flies open, and you sprawl on the floor. Someone unlocked the door, and they did it while you were standing there. But there's no one in the room. You get up from the floor. The radio is still blaring, and you can hear water running in the shower. Quickly, you kick the room door shut. You remember the fire rule from school safety class. Fire, you yell, banging on the bathroom door. Everyone out. There's no reply, so you push the door open. The shower stall's glass door is ajar. Water is flooding out. A feather floats on top of the water. You
A
turn
jar? I thought it was a door.
Is it? Here we go.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
You turn off the tap, pick up the feather, and grab a folded towel from the rack. As you toss the towel into the water on the floor, something drops from its folds. You crouch down and pick up what looks like a small piece of bone.
Ooh.
That's when you hear it, a soft whirring behind you. Still half crouching, you awkwardly turn toward the sound. Hovering on top of the door is a gray hawk. Its amber eyes are trained on you as if waiting to attack. Instinctively, you throw your arm up to protect your head as the bird rockets toward you. Its sharp talons tear into your arm, and you lose your balance, sitting down hard in the layer of water on the floor. By the time you get back to your feet, the bird has flown to the other room. Turn to page 28. Wrapping a clean towel around your arm, you hurry back into the room after the hawk. but the bird is nowhere in sight. You check the closet and under the bed. Why would the bird go under the bed?
Birds don't go under beds.
Come
That's
on.
science.
We took a correspondence course in falconeering. We should know.
Under the bed is the natural enemy of all birds.
Exactly. The hawk has disappeared. It can't be. The door is still closed and locked. The windows are not only closed, but are covered on the outside with storm windows. Suddenly, the siren stops. The lodge is quiet, and in the silence, you realize that another oddity has occurred. The radio that was blaring when you entered the room is also quiet. You leave the room and hurry downstairs. Your arm still hurts. In the lobby, Sadie is talking to a muscular, dark-haired man who looks angry. Russell is standing beside some luggage at the main entrance. You approach Sadie. I have to talk to you. Sadie, you say softly. Not now, she replies. I'm talking to Mr. Hawkins. Huh, a hawk, Mr. Hawkins? That can't be coincidence.
The hawk can morph into a human.
Yes.
Kill it quick.
Episode of Manimal.
Oh, gosh. Good old Manimal, by the way.
Yes.
God.
Exactly.
Was that even on a season?
No, it lasted a half a season.
Oh, God. Good old Manimal.
Sadie, this is important, you whisper. She brushes your hand from her arm. You feel so helpless. Something strange is going on. You've got to find out who was booked in 223 and who owns the dangerous bird. It must be caught before someone else is attacked. Should you interrupt Sadie again? You glance towards the door. Russell might be able to help. All right. If you approach Sadie again, turn to page 72. If you ask Russell, turn to page 47. So that's our options. Do we talk to Sadie or do we talk to Russell?
As we decide the age-old question, Sadie or Russell, I'm going to read to everyone the opening narration of the hit TV series Manimal.
Oh, boy.
Dr. Jonathan Chase, wealthy, young, handsome, a man with the brightest of futures, a man with the darkest of pasts. From Africa's deepest recesses to the rarefield peaks of Tibet, heir to his father's legacy and the world's darkest mysteries. Jonathan Chase, master of the secrets that divide man from animal, animal from man, Manimal.
Awesome. To think you watched that, I assume.
I did.
Are
you kidding?
Me too.
I did watch Manimal. He could turn into animals.
I know. Who doesn't?
He's like that? Me, and he's like a hawk flying around. Shows his eyes.
Yeah.
It was basically like I'm more of a fan of Beastmaster, like where he's just like, yeah, I'm in the mind of a hawk. Now I'm in the like he's like commanding them and eyes of a ferret. That's what I want.
Oh yeah, I want to turn into a snake.
I want ferret powers.
Ferret powers.
Manimal.
I understand the problem of Echo Lodge. If you notice, so Russell was grumpy, and then this Mr. Hawkins is grumpy, and then the other lady is grumpy. I think we've got a little bit of a PR problem here.
There's so much grump going on. Speaking of that, we may need to employ the old Uchoose coin.
Yes, let's do that right now. So get that pulled up here.
So I say heads, Sadie, tails, Russell.
Good old Russell.
I'm afraid.
All right. Jesse, I want to turn into a shark.
He knows that's too much to ask.
Yes. All right. Here we go. Tails.
Ooh.
I'm gonna talk to Russell then. Yikes.
18 pounds of lean muscle Russell. And what page was that, sir?
47.
47.
Russell it is.
Here we go.
Now.
47. Who was checked into 223, you ask Russell? The haunted room, he says, with a fleeting grin. Heidi's the only one brave enough to stay in there. What do you mean haunted, you ask? A reporter from San Francisco stayed in there last winter. He heard strange noises. His typewriter was stolen. Went back to the city and wrote an awful article about Echo Lodge. Well, he can add an attacking hawk and a minor flood to that, you say, with all the pointedness of a, yeah,
9-year-old.
right. You show Russell the deep scratches on your arm and explain what happened. As you talk, Russell's expression changes from one of amusement to concern. And what's this? You continue, showing him the tiny bone. Turn to page 57. We have a haunted hotel room, bro.
Yeah, we do.
Russell quickly reaches over and takes it from your hand. Who knows, he says, a broken piece of plastic from something? He forces a grin. Maybe you hit your head when you fell on the wet floor. Instead of seeing stars, you're seeing birds. That's funny. Good job, buddy.
It is funny. Cuckoo.
Then explain this, you say angrily, holding out the feather. His eyes dart from the feather to your face. Just a feather, he says, reaching for it. You pull your hand back before he can take it. I know it's a feather, you say disgustedly.
Ooh, not just saying it. You say it disgustedly.
You piece of mashed potatoes. Obviously, you're not going to tell me what's going on. I'm going back up to 223. Somebody has to look out for that bird. Hey, it's like the Big Bird movie back in the day.
Oh, he's going to find Big Bird.
Don't go, Russell says. It's the jinx. Let Heidi go up. What's he afraid of, you wonder?
Throw Heidi under the bus.
Put Heidi there. Is the room really haunted? If you go back to 223, turn to page 11. If you go find Heidi, turn to page 80.
All right. We go back to the room, or do we go find Heidi? I love that. He's like, let Heidi go up there.
Send
I don't live here anyway.
What are we doing? We all know she's disposable. We have a closet full of Heidi.
Yeah, he's an old man. He's probably mad because Heidi wanted to watch Wheel of Fortune. He wanted to watch Matlock or something.
Yeah, exactly. I think we're doing that. We're flipping the coin again here. It appears.
Okay, so let's grab the coin here. Pull that up. I don't know why it's not letting me share the screen for some reason, but all right. So we want Heidi, or excuse me, heads is 223. Tails is Heidi.
Yeah, we gave Heidi heads last time. Let's do heads 223. Tails is Heidi.
All right. Tail. Oh. Wow. Tails 2 times in a row.
A tale of two Heidis.
Tale of two Heidis. Let's go let Heidi get haunted, I guess. We're like, she can take it. All right. So that is page 80. That's me. Let's go get Heidi. All over the place here.
Right.
Right. Where's Heidi, you ask Russell. Probably in the dining room, he says. You hurry to the dining room. It's deserted. It's deserted. They have desserts. Wondering where to look next, you go to the picture window that gives the diners a spectacular view of the mountains. Below you is the winding road that you came in on. A car is parked at the foot of the steps. Someone is climbing into the back seat. It's Heidi.
Oh.
You watch as she pulls a blanket over herself and huddles on the floor. What's she doing? Whose car is it? You don't wonder for long as you stand there. Mr. Hawkins storms down the steps, getting behind the wheel and drives off. What are you staring at? You whirl around to the sound of Russell's voice. Heidi, you say. She just left in Mr. Hawkins' car. Hawkins' car, he says. Did he force her to go? No, you tell him. She hid in the back seat. His face becomes a mask of fear. I told her he was dangerous, Russell says. She didn't believe me. Who is Hawkins, you ask? Hawkins is a Paiute shaman, Russell answers. A gray shaman. Turn to page 30. Right. Interesting turn of events here. Don't know where they're going with this.
Straight to the shaman.
Yeah. What's a shaman, you ask Russell?
Don't squeeze the shaman.
Yeah. A medicine man with supernatural powers, he tells you. We of the tribe call Hawkins a gray shaman. He uses his powers for evil. He threatened to use the spirits against Sadie. Why? He claims she built the North Chalet on sacred ground. At one time, this was all tribal land. You don't really believe in the supernatural and spirits and shamans and all that, do you? You ask him. I do, he replies, and you should too. The hawk that attacked you, that was Hawkins' spirit bird. It is through the hawk that he gets his power. He pauses. Hawkins claims immortality. But that's unreal, you protest. That which is unreal is also real. I love that.
Yeah.
Russell says, well, why does Sadie let him stay at Echo Lodge, you demand? Fear, he replies. Last year, when she refused him a room, the roof of the East Chalet collapsed. Well, I don't believe in gray shamans or pink shamans, or neither does Heidi. That's why she's in danger. Interpol tactics cannot stop a gray shaman. Then what can, you ask sarcastically? Only another shaman, replies seriously. You stare at him, and slowly the realization sinks in. I am a shaman of the Pit River tribe, Russell says, nodding. His gray eyes lock with yours. I'm going after Hawkins, but I'll need help to rescue Heidi. Will you come? All right. So here we go. If you agree to go with Russell, turn to page 101. Decide not to go, turn to page 68.
Man.
So we got two shamans. It's like two wizards.
Two
Classic.
wizards. This is where I wish, like, having to flip the coin is tough because I personally want to make a choice here, but we can't. We can't, Lee.
We must let the fates decide.
Yes.
What to do. So,
well, I would say if we agree to go, let's go heads.
Row. So
let's go heads if we agree to go. Tails if we go. Yeah. Tails would be turn tail and head back.
Tail and run. Okay.
Yeah.
Heads, we face it head on. There we go. Here we
heads.
Go. Tails again.
The statistical probability on this.
I don't know. That'd be interesting to find out.
Page 68.
So that is turn tail and run. That would be you. Page 68.
Turning. No, you say to Russell, I think Heidi can take care of herself. Nobody made her get into that car. Besides, I don't believe the hawk is a spirit bird. I think it's somebody's pet, trained to attack.
See, we're getting all logical.
Then I will go alone to stop the flight of the white bird. You frown. It wasn't white, you tell him. It was gray. The bird I seek is white, Russell says, and will be found near the summit. He turns and leaves the lobby without another word. At dinner that evening, Sadie notices that Russell and Heidi are absent. I wonder where that pair went, she says. I'd like to have them around during these winter storms. One radio station was even predicting an avalanche at the summit. Russell's gone to the summit, you tell her, between bites, to stop the flight of the white bird. Sadie turns to look at you. The white bird, she repeats. Mr. Hawkins mentioned a white bird when he checked out. What did he say? You ask, beginning to feel concerned. I think he said, swiftly the white bird flies at night. Turn to page 88. The disaster is the lead item on the 11 o'clock news that night. The Reno television station reports. At 8:23 tonight, the popular Echo Lodge Resort was wiped out by a killer avalanche that roared down from Echo Summit. The only survivors were the house detective and the chief bellman, who were both away from the lodge at the time the avalanche struck. The
end. Oh, man. Killed by snow or mashed potatoes.
Killed by the white bird mashed potatoes.
Yeah, there you go.
So both of these wildly different endings.
Yeah, completely different.
Because the first one, we solved like a crime.
Yes.
And then this is actually a pretty good. I would say book wise, the variety of endings is pretty good so far.
That I know it's like a total one's a mystery that we solved. This one was like supernatural flavor to it.
Yeah,
The
yeah, that was
first one
good.
was
I actually
very
enjoyed that.
Murder She Wrote. The second one was more manimal. There we go.
Man, we're going 80s TV show references. We should
Yes.
do that. Not now, maybe, but like for maybe like a little season of our shows, we like give them ratings on TV shows from the 80s, maybe 90s too. We'll do 80s and 90s.
80s and early 90s. So this one's
Yeah,
Murder She Wrote. Jessica Fletcher meets Manimal.
meets Manimal. Yep, I agree. That is
That'd be
great.
great. All right. Well, speaking of ideas, I guess this is kind of totally different. Remember we talked about mixing some of these where you go to page 12 on Echo Lodge, but then you go to page 88 of Star Trek Voyage to Adventure or something like
Yeah,
that.
like we do an actual mashup of two books.
I tested it and it does work. It does. It is interesting. It's the Mad Libs of Choose Your Own Adventure.
I think it'd be fun at some point to do a Uchoose mashup where we take two books and literally back and forth between two books. We just alternate.
I tested it on 3 and it actually worked pretty good.
I think it might work out.
So anyway, stay tuned. We may try that.
Here we go.
All right. Speaking of Star Trek, we're going to do Star Trek Voyage to Adventure. This is Which Way books. And these were like we always say, the GoBots of Choose Your Own Adventure.
They really were.
Typically not as good. I mean, some of them we've done actually weren't too bad, honestly. But most are, but we want to try them anyway.
Yeah, it's tough because you're like, okay, so I want variety and I do like Star Trek, but then after a while you're like, how old were you before you realized that licensed stuff tend to not be very good?
It didn't take too long. You had a few disappointments. I had like an X-Men game that I bought. Oh, this is gonna be great. Yeah, it was not very good.
Yeah.
And then cartoons, Saturday morning cartoons based on stuff tended
movies.
To not, movies or other IPs.
My first real branded thing that I thought was going to be amazing, and then I realized it just wasn't, was the Back to the Future video game for Nintendo Entertainment System.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And all they did, and I'm not kidding you, because I didn't know this at the time because I didn't have an Atari. They just ripped off Paperboy and Burger Time and like another one and just made a Back to the Future type like thing. You know, I think even Frogger. Yeah.
Just reskinned it and said, this is Back to the Future.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Yeah. It was terrible. I mean, it wasn't good. It just wasn't good.
It was almost like
oh god, I remember I had rented, I think it was Star Trek, the video game for Nintendo at one point, and I remember just being like, I think these license things aren't very good.
And then that's when you knew.
It's been settled in.
Yes. So we're gonna give this a try, though. We've gone through it once, and we want to try it again. So this is Star Trek Voyage to Adventure by Michael Dodge. This was written in, let's see, what year was it? 1984. So we're
perfect.
Here in the 84, 85.
So 3 years before Next Generation.
Yeah, you're right.
Give or take.
So this would have been 84. Let's see. Wrath of Khan would have been out, I think.
Yeah.
Search for Spock would have been out too, I think.
I think it was, for sure. I think Search for Spock. Because wasn't it like 85 or 86 for Voyage Home?
I think that was even later. I think it might have been 88 even. I can't remember.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
It might have been later.
We'll have to do an all Star Trek.
Still one of my favorites, Wrath of Khan.
So good.
Classic.
So good.
Yeah.
Just the notion of taking an episode and expanding on it and turning it into a movie was, at the time, by the way, unheard of.
Exactly.
Super smart.
That was a great idea. I mean, it's risky, but the concept of it was just great. Take some obscure, I think that episode was actually pretty popular.
Episode. I mean, when you have William Shatner yanking off a handrail and beating someone to death with it, You got some you got some movie gold, baby.
Yes, the Botany Bay. That's right. That was the
The
Botany Bay
Botany Bay.
satellite or
Yep.
whatever they found. Yeah,
Oh gosh, it was a well done episode, and people, resurrecting people who were basically sentenced to a life of adrift in space and woke up a bunch of criminals.
I know. Hey, I
Had to
just
fight
looked
them
up
off.
Star Trek 4. The voyage home was 1986.
Ah, yeah.
I didn't know it was
They
that
didn't
early.
waste time back in the 80s. They were like the first two Star Trek movies, I think, especially Wrath of Khan. I think Wrath of Khan really helped them figure out they could do some good with this.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Gosh,
I mean,
it was good.
nothing.
Anyway,
We all wished we were as cool and suave as Ricardo Montalban.
look at man.
That chest hair.
I mean, Macho Man even saw that chest and was like,
Oh yeah!
he loved it. It's good stuff.
Exactly. All right. Yeah, we better get started. All right, I'll start this one since you started the last one.
All right, sir.
In Starfleet, just graduated from Starfleet Academy. Because of your high scores as a cadet, you've been assigned to the Starship Enterprise, commanded by Captain James T. Kirk.
Well
James
done.
Tiberius Kirk. Yeah. There was a alternate Star Trek where he was known as Tiberius, Emperor Tiberius over the Federation.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, he was like all bad.
Yes.
Was that when they all had goatees?
I don't know. It was in a book or something that they had.
Oh,
like
okay.
Novelizations, but I was like, oh, that's interesting.
The most evil of facial hair.
Exactly. As you pick up your space bag and prepare to beam aboard the Enterprise, space bag, space vampire.
My space boots with my space hands.
Yes, with my space watch. Let's see. Prepare to beam aboard the Enterprise. You can remember the speech Admiral Traynor gave to your class of ensigns. Never forget that Starfleet's mission is to keep peace in the galaxy. Use force only when everything else has failed. And never forget the prime directive. Do not interfere with an alien race, even if you think you would be doing the right thing. We do not always understand the ways of other peoples, and sometimes our help, in air quotes, may only make things worse. Power is a terrible thing, unless it is used wisely. Now, best of luck to you all. The transporter operator pushes the controls and light surrounds you. You are beamed aboard the Enterprise. It's time to choose your assignment aboard the Enterprise. There is a board that shows the jobs available, but it does not say very much about them. If you want to try engineering, go to page 3. If you choose to work on the bridge, go to page 4. If you prefer a job in the science laboratory, go to page 5. So last time we went to page 4, the bridge. So this time we need to either go to engineering or the science laboratory.
Ooh.
Either one would be good.
Well, I would say heads for bridge, tails for science laboratory.
Heads for bridge, tails.
That would be my vote.
Laboratory. Okay. Let me get the coin up here. And all right. Flip. Heads.
Ooh.
Heads.
We're going to the bridge, baby.
Bridge with Captain James T. Kirk. All right.
You arrive on the bridge. On the display screen ahead, stars are flashing past. As you step from the turbo lift, Captain Kirk turns to face you. Welcome aboard, Ensign, the captain says. We've been receiving some strange transmissions from an uncharted planet in this sector. Your job will be to help Lieutenant Uhura translate and list them. You take a seat next to Lieutenant Uhura. She smiles and points to a huge pile of tape cassettes. Tape cassettes!
What?
On the one side of the console and a pair of headphones on the other. There's a lot of work to do, she says. Where do you want to start? If you wish to use the translating computer on the recordings already made, go to page 50. If you prefer listening to the transmissions through the headphones, go to page 43.
think we made a mistake, Eddie. We went to page 4 last time.
We did go on the bridge last time.
So,
So we got to go to engineering or science.
Yes.
Should we reflip?
Because we flipped for, so we got heads.
Right, for bridge. So we just do engineering as heads?
Engineering or lab. So yeah, engineering would be the right one.
So page 3. You get out on the turbo lift on the ship's engineering deck. Ahead of you are the enormous warp engines that power the Enterprise. To one side, you can see Chief Engineer Scott working at a control panel. As you start toward Mr. Scott, a tall man in a lieutenant's uniform steps into your path. Another new ensign, he says, sounding annoyed. Well, I'm Lieutenant Grogan, and I know what to do with you. He hands you an electronic sweeper. Take this and get to work cleaning the deck. If you agree to obey the Lieutenant Grogan and start sweeping, go to page 6. If you want to complain to Mr. Scott that you are an ensign, not a janitor, go to page 24.
I've got a comment on the illustration there. Look what the vacuum cleaner he's handing him is.
Yeah,
a vacuum cleaner, like
it's
you would
a vacuum cleaner
in 1984.
Yeah,
It's hilarious.
exactly. It's just a vacuum. That's all it is.
Vacuum cleaners haven't changed in 200 years.
No, and the way he's holding it, like with no sense of weight at all. I mean, he is incredibly strong.
He's just got that thing held up with 4 or 5 feet off the ground. Here you go.
Here's your vacuum.
Hilarious. All right. I just love that. All right. So let's go ahead and flip. So heads for the sweeping. We're going to go ahead and sweep. Or tails, we complain.
I say, yeah, tails complain, heads sweep.
All right. Tails complain, heads sweep.
Ooh, we're sweeping.
I didn't go all 7 years of ensign school to sweep, but I guess we are going to sweep.
Right. You get an order, you do the order.
That's right. All right. So that is page 6. Lieutenant Grogan nods his head as you take the sweeper and go to work. Because of the electronic sweeper, cleaning the deck is not hard work, but it is very dull. As you sweep a corner behind some machinery, you see something small and shiny and very fast moving across the floor in front of you. Curious, you follow the shiny streak. Soon it disappears into what looks like a solid wall. But when you tap the wall, you find that a panel is loose, and behind it is a tunnel just big enough for you to enter. You do not see anyone else around. You go into the tunnel. The light comes from the little headlight on your electronic sweeper. You can hear the hum of the ship's main power lines all around you. On the floor are little bits of metal and plastic, and you follow their trail. After many twists and turns, you come to a small room. In the corners are piles of sparkling metal, electronic parts. In the middle of the floor is something that looks like a large mouse, but made of metal, a robot. It looks up at you with red electronic eyes.
Yeah.
I love it.
Evil.
If you decide to hit at the mouse, turn to page 21. If you want to hold it still and see what the robot does, go to page 10. So just like normal choose your own adventure fashion, do we hit it?
Or do you punch it?
Yeah.
Although it is Captain Kirk style decision making.
That's true.
Do I kiss it or do I punch it?
Punch it. Exactly.
I would let's change this up. Let's do tails to hit the mouse. Oh, we got a vote here. Show the evil robot some love.
Carolyn is in the chat. Show the evil robot some love. So that means we hold it. So that would be page 10. Good to see Carolyn back again.
Page 10. Hey, Carolyn.
Right. That would
you
be...
stand very... Is that me or you? That's
you.
Me. You stand very still, watching the metal mouse as it starts to crawl nearer your electronic sweeper. Then it reaches towards the machine with shiny steel claws. This is becoming ominous.
Yes.
Very quickly, you turn the sweeper's control up to high power. The mouse is sucked inside. It makes beeping noises from inside the bag. This is a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah.
Space vacuum cleaner.
Space vacuum cleaner, of course.
If you want to look at your captive right now, turn to page 16. If you choose to leave the tunnel and show the mouse to an officer, go to page 14.
Okay. I like how we always refer the sweeper as electronic sweeper. It's done that 3 times now.
Yeah. Carolyn giving us an accurate representation of what the mouse would have sounded like.
Bleep, bloop, bleep, bloop, bloop.
I accept. I agree. Macho Man agrees too.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He says, look at the mouse too.
Exactly. You want to look at
So
your
we have a vote for look at the mouse.
16. All right. Oh boy. Stop the sweeper and open its bag. The mouse, in quotes here, robot's red eyes look up at you from the darkness inside. You reach into the bag, remembering too late that the mouse has claws. Where our memory for an ensign, we're just
Not so good.
no. You feel the sharp metal talons scratch your hand. You lose your balance, falling against a wall. Power cables pull loose, and you are surrounded by a brilliant blue cloud of sparks. Then there is nothing. The end. Wow.
Man,
We're
we
horrible.
died twice on the Enterprise. Is our shirt red again?
Yeah. Oh, it must be.
Well, it is now.
It is now.
It's soaked in our blood.
Yeah. Carolyn, I'm in for 5 minutes and I kill us. It's like, yeah.
It's
know.
true.
That's okay.
It's true. You
Man.
took us right to the end.
We're like the dumbest red shirted ensign ever. It's like,
Literally. I mean, it's
that's
just
plot.
tantamount to like, you have this shiny new fork. What do you do with it? Jam it in the outlet. Jam it in the space outlet.
Space out. Yeah. Huh. This metal fork and an outlet. That's I think those two go together.
What should I do about it? Space Macho Man Randy Savage. Should I jam this fork into a light socket?
Oh, yeah.
See, he says do it, so I'm just gonna do it.
That's like the old thing we had earlier, the Jeopardy outlets, things you stick forks into.
That's exactly it. That is the caliber of ensign that we are. Look at this guy. He is going out like a chump.
Oh, what's Carolyn? What is this vacuum made of that it can suck up a metal robot but can't contain it? I know. Well,
I know, right?
We opened it actually, but
yeah, we're like,
huh? Let's take a look at this. Even though it has talons, I'm just gonna open it up and reach my hand in.
If I have the wherewithal to suck something up inside of a vacuum that I didn't want to let not be inside the vacuum, I'm just hitting the bag with a bat until it's not moving anymore.
We're not very bright, evidently.
I know. How we got through Starfleet is beyond me.
We must have cheated or something.
Exactly.
Oh, she thought it was a bagless vacuum. You could see. Well, okay, it doesn't say. I guess.
Because that's Next Generation Star Trek right there.
Well, it says you stop the sweeper and open its bag. So, I mean, the author didn't even try to make it sound futuristic. They just, let's grab this 1963 Hoover and throw it on a spaceship.
Like, ooh, not even a Dyson.
Yeah.
It didn't even have like a container. It was like a bag, dude.
It's like my grandma has an old Hoover, or what were those the salesman one?
I'm telling you, up until recently, our version of the future was always based off of our current technology. We were like, well, audio tapes are a thing.
Yeah, Kirby.
Kirby. And they're like, well, I'll listen to this. Headphones go on. It's like, no, there'd be implants in your head where you could just be like,
yeah.
Anyway,
yeah, that definitely reflects the original series. In the Next Generation, I think, yeah. Here's your Kirby buffalo print 110-pound vacuum.
Dude, go back to that one page. It was a 110-pound vacuum, and he's holding it with like 3 fingers, like it ain't nothing. He's like, here it is.
110 pounds, and I'm just picking it up like it doesn't weigh.
He's like, I do all the work. Look at that. That vacuum was 110 pounds, and it can suck up an alien. And he's like, here.
Maybe it's lighter.
Here you go. Hey, if you suck up a weird robot mouth, don't open the bag. Whatever you do, get at it.
I think Next Generation was a little better, a little more forward thinking as far as technology compared
Oh
to the
yeah,
series.
dude. I mean, it was meant to be a little campy in the beginning.
That's true. That's true.
Like the transporter technology was literally designed as a way to get around having to use a shuttlecraft every single time. They were like,
Yeah.
that'd be a pain.
Yeah, cheaper for production too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
just
They had room.
materialize them.
Yes.
Done. I know.
Well,
that Roomba and that mouse would have like become friends. That's the only problem.
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, this one put a pin in these two, but we'll see what we'll do next time. We'll either pick some more books or maybe we'll do a mashup. I don't know. We'll come up with something.
I think maybe next time we do a mashup, we pick two books. Let's pick two hits. Maybe you put a vote out on our social media page. And it's like, which two books should we mash up?
Yeah, two books to do a mashup. And I prefer to do the books we've done already just to kind of just see. And then what would work is we would book A, we get to decision point, it says to go to page 12. We would go to page 12 and book B. And then page 32 and book B goes to page 32 and book A. So we'll just go back and forth. And it's kind of the Mad Libs of the Choose Your Own Adventure world.
Yeah, I mean, this is almost like the Uchoose podcast multiverse here.
I like it. I like the idea though. Like I said, I played with it and it was actually pretty funny. So
I think maybe what would be fun is if we took the Christmas one and we did the Halloween one, the one that was in the forest with werewolves.
Yes. It's actually, like I said, when I tested it was pretty funny. And especially if you keep them in the Choose Your Own Adventure world, and if they're by the same author, they still have kind of that same tone. So if we do a book, if they're both by, say, Edward Packard, they're going to come off pretty. They coincide.
Let's do it that way. Yeah,
they coincide more than you would think.
No, I agree. I think we do that. I think we find a couple of the similar, like two author, the same author, and then go for it.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Well, we better sign off. And hey, appreciate Carolyn in the chat and everybody else that was in the chat. Definitely enjoy the interaction. You can go to uchoosepodcast.com for past episodes. You can also find merch, other ways to contact us. Let us know what books you liked as a kid or the ones you want us to check out. We can. So,
yep.
All right.
I still do have plenty of stickers. If anyone wants a vinyl Uchoose podcast sticker, you can reach out to us on social media. I can provide you with our Venmo link and you can get stickers directly from us. And then we can send them to you. So hit us up over on our Facebook, our Instagram, and we can get you some stickers too if you'd like.
Cool. All right. Well, hey, everybody, until next time, you choose the adventure. See ya.
Good night, everybody. We'll see you.